For those of you who've never used ChatGPT or who only know about it through the sensationalized news headlines about the end of high school English or the death of the college essay, you might be wondering what this technology is and what's all the commotion about. Well, it's kind of hard to describe it, so I made this video that you can watch up here behind me to give you a little live demo or a use recording. And I asked ChatGPT to describe itself. Here's what it said. I'm a generative pre-trained transformer designed to understand and generate human-like text in a conversational manner, simulating the experience of interacting with a human. So it's not technically writing, it's predicting what text to generate based on prompts that you've given it. We already use AI-assisted predictive text generators, like when you're writing an email and it suggests how to end the sentence as you're typing it. ChatGPT is basically the same idea, but instead of single words and phrases, it can generate almost anything based on almost any prompt you can think of. This has lots of applications. You can ask it to help you write computer code, even if you don't know how to write computer code. I've embedded it into my internet browser so that when I Google something, instead of those bewildering Google results, I get a plain English ChatGPT answer and explanation. I've embedded it into Google Docs to summarize and edit and generate text for me. I've embedded it into Google Sheets. I don't know how to write Excel formulas, but ChatGPT does, and it can help me do spreadsheet calculations if I just ask it to create the formulas for me. But all the attention seems to be on using it to generate writing. And for that, like most technologies, it's only as good as its user. I've been experimenting with making it produce what I'd consider college-level writing. And what I found is it works best when you already know your topic very well, when you know the specific argument you want to make, when you understand the conventions of writing in your discipline or your profession, and when you understand the audience that you're trying to reach. In short, it requires some prior writing knowledge and some good critical thinking skills, like any writing technology does in order to work. So what's the big deal? I think what's causing such a stir is that the technology promises to assist us with what rhetoric scholars, of which I am one, call rhetorical invention. There's never really been anything capable of doing this before. Classical rhetoric back in ancient Greece and Rome identified 5 stages of the composing process, from coming up with a topic, that's the first step, invention. How do you think of an idea? And then how do you arrange it and deliver it, store it, memorize it, record it, and then give it to an audience, right? Invention's that first part. Each of the other categories has seen enormous technological innovation that we all now take for granted, but at one time shifted our way of thinking about writing. We have word processing, copy and paste, ways of visualizing our thinking and to better organize our ideas, digital storage drives and indexing and search functions to quickly retrieve information so we don't need to remember it, multimodal delivery methods for conveying our messages through print, image, audio, video. And there's grammar checkers, style checkers, and spell checkers. The one area where writing assistive technologies have only begun to venture is that first stage, invention. And we tend to think of that as being where the original work of the writer lives. We think that the invention of an idea comes from the mind of the writer. ChatGPT, though, challenges that thinking by asking us to consider that some ideas come from writers just messing around with technologies that help them mess around with existing ideas and texts in a process that can eventually lead to designing and making something surprising and new. Writing itself is a technology. You can't do it without tools. And better writing assistive technologies enable us to devote less labor and intellectual energy to the physical process of producing sentences and paragraphs, and more of that labor and energy to attending to the rhetorical purposes underlying our writing, playing with ideas that can respond to the situations, audiences, purposes, and motives that will help us find what we want to say and discover what we want our writing to do.